All right, welcome in, you trader nerds. How y'all doing? It's a happy Monday. Hope you had a wonderful time. Had to take the kids to the dentist, and oh my gosh, they're driving me crazy. Just literally nuts. I don't know why we decided to take all three of the little ones at the same time. Unbelievable. So we survived. Ate at the Waffle House, and then we're back home. All right, so let's look here. I've already entered We're down a little bit in net leg. Oh, the tasty account. We didn't get to play with Jefferson, so we're down a little bit. So, y'all, I feel bad. I really do a little bit. I don't feel too bad though, because I have lost some of y'all. Lost you. Y'all are just y'all in y'all's own little world, and y'all still doing the same things that y'all have always done. And it's hard, because you're worried about stuff you ought not be worried about. For example, I went to the Waffle House, right? At Waffle House today, people are going to say, Bobby, you can't lose weight eating what you ate today. Okay. I lost 7.6 pounds last week. So here's what I had today. I had I had hash browns. I had 3 eggs, 3 pieces of bacon, 1 piece of toast. I had some ketchup on my hash browns, and I had butter on my. As people saying, you can't do that, Bobby. You're not going to lose no weight. Okay, listen, y'all. Weight loss really is simple, right? It's simple. Never take weight loss advice from a fat person, number one. But correct me if I'm wrong. It's calories in and calories out. I mean, that's really it. It don't matter if you're going to Weight Watchers or Nutrisystem or whatever you got going on. It is really calories in, calories out. That's just it. Now, if you want to eat healthier and not eat butter on your toast, or you'd rather have whatever. Oh, I've got to have olive oil. That's fine. But as far as the weight loss part goes, it's really just kind of simple. But we just kind of complicate it, right? That's why you got a million different diets. You got a million different things you can stand up for. Oh, I'm going to do the Mediterranean. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do Weight Watch. I'm going to do. Oh, my gosh, we complicate everything, y'all. It's just what we do. We have to complicate everything. And so I've tried to simplify this for y'all, and y'all just can't come along on the ride. There's just some of y'all that you just can't hang. You just can't hang going to portfolio management. You're still in trade management. So I don't know. I don't think some of you are ever going to get there. I really don't. Either you're not listening, or you don't want to listen, or it's that we've developed bad habits otherwise. And I think we're going to you're just going to, I don't know, man. I just think, are you a lost cause? Maybe. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to come on the road with me. You can still be the trade manager and manage your trades and do what you want to. Or maybe you can be a hybrid, right? You're kind of a trade manager, and I'm kind of a portfolio manager. You really don't know what you are. Thank you, Joe, for finding it. And remote control. I was dropping last night. I couldn't find a remote control when 90 Day Fiance was on, and I was trying to flip between that and football games. I love my 90 Day Fiance. So it's really simple. So y'all get all, like, if we're dieting, here's what people want you to do. Oh, you gotta have so much. I remember when I was probably in 6th, 7th grade when I was going to Weight Watchers with my Aunt Dodo, and we had to eat liver once a week, and we had to have tuna fish like 3 times a week. Oh yeah, Beth, it was horrible. We had to have, and I'm sitting there, and I love chicken livers, but you just can't find them. I mean, and it's hard, Mama, will you cook me chicken liver? I don't know. I don't cook no chicken liver. Chicken livers are nasty when you cook them. Now, if you get them from the Kentucky Fried Chicken, you got you some, right? That's pretty good. Where someone else is doing all that work, they're really delicious. So, weight loss back in that day was really hard because I had to get in tuna 3 times a week. I had to get in liver once a week. And so Weight Watchers back in the 70s was focusing on, oh my God, you got to just get in this and this and this. And so we were worried about the weeds back in the weight loss days of the early days of Weight Watchers. So now I hadn't been on the Weight Watchers plan in a long, long time. But now, they say, hey, man, you can have anything. And I think that's probably where we need to be. Right? You can have anything. You ain't got to have such and such so many times a week. You don't have to put on 28 trades every day. You don't have to put 20 different underlines and 20 different strategies. You just got to manage the portfolio. And some of y'all are not coming along for the ride, and that's fine. And initially I was like, man, what am I going to do to get everybody to come along? And the thing is, I ain't got to do nothing. You stay where you want to stay. You stay where your comfort zone is. Because this is uncomfortable for some of you, and you're not willing to make the sacrifice to go full portfolio management. I think we're going to be more successful if we go full portfolio management. So intentionally today, I am not looking at the market. I hadn't looked at it. I hadn't listened to it. I ain't done nothing. All I've done in this first portfolio is enter my metrics. So here's what I would say if from where the market goes. So I would think if my deltas went down, that means maybe the market went up, maybe a little bit, but not a lot. If it did go up, right? If it goes up, my deltas will get this. So then it goes, but my theta went up. Okay. So that would kind of mean, well, I think maybe the market went down a little bit. So this indicates that the market went up. This indicates that the market went down. And my buying power went down, which would indicate maybe that the market either went up or volatility has come down. Now, y'all don't tell me. So if I look at this right now, I go, well, looks like the market, here's what I'd probably say. And I hadn't looked at it. And I want you to get here. And I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I'm Bobby, Nostra Bobby. Nostra Bobby says, I don't think we got much market movement, and maybe volatility, I don't know, it's hard to tell. My buying power went down. That means that volatility maybe went down a bit, you know. I don't know exactly. I put it just 24 the other day. And then, but with my theta going up, I don't know, man. So I don't think it's moved much either. If I had to guess, I don't think much has happened. I don't think much has happened. All right. I'm not even looking. I don't even know what the market's done. So what would I do in this account? Well, I know some of y'all got, oh my God, we got an election coming up tomorrow. It's going to be blood on the streets, baby. Really? I mean, I just don't see it. Now, here's what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping that we have Republicans taking over Congress in some fashion, at least one of the two. I don't care which one of the two. Do I have a preference? Nah, not probably really. Well, I probably do, because Nancy Pelosi, she's not one of my favorites. So I'd probably say, I'd like to see Nancy. I'd like to see someone else up in there. So I probably would rather the Republicans take the House. If the Democrats going to keep anything, I'd probably have them keep the Senate. And because here's what I want gridlock. I want the government not able to put their crabby hands on anything of mine. I don't want them coming after old sweet Bobby. So I want gridlock. I like when you got a president and administration on the executive side. I like having somebody else on the legislative side. So I think it's good. I think it's good for us to have a little bit of debate and gridlock. I was talking in Sunday school class yesterday. They're like, oh, y'all, our country's so divided. Why can't we get along? I said, y'all, do we not remember that in the early days of our country, our founding fathers would duel and shoot at each other? I mean, y'all remember old Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton? I mean, we pull out the old shotgun, we go walk 20 paces, and we shoot each other. So I'm not so certain that things are as bad as we think. The debate, and I know, the hatred's big and blah, blah, blah. The left hates the right and the right hates the left. I actually kind of think it's good. Now, I do wish we were all rah-rah Americans. Oh, man, America, America, America. But, hey, I think it kind of works. Us kind of all fussing and fighting. A lot of people did not want to fight the British when we fought for our independence. There was a number of very influential people who said, are you kidding? What are y'all doing? This revolution, y'all can't do this. So if we think back on it, we all probably think that we would have been on the revolutionist side, but maybe not. Maybe we would have liked to just be where we were. Leave me alone. Leave me. I'll pay the tax. Everything be fine. Y'all chill out. So, it's easy to kind of judge things in history and where they are, but it's the debate between two parties and two things is really, really good. And you don't want one party just totally taking over everything, right? You go, man, I hope it's a blue wave or it's a red wave. Well, do you really? Do you really? I kind of like the debate. Let's let them fight it out, man. Let's let them fight it out. We'll land on one side or the other. So I don't want to get really political at all, but I'm just trying to say is this. Am I worried about the election? No. What am I worried about? I'm worried about my metrics. So as far as if I can get in water every day and keep my body hydrated, if I can get in a little bit of a calorie deficit, and if I can exercise every day, then old sweet Bobby's going to do fine. And I'll drop those 7.6 pounds. Y'all, y'all won't believe this. I don't think I've been in my 200s since, let's see, I was in college. So I graduated in 1991 from Jacksonville. Yeah, last time I was probably in my 200s was 1991. I've been in the 300s ever since. I'm really close to the 200, y'all. I'm talking about like in a couple weeks, I'm gonna be in the 200s again. Hadn't been there since 1991. You know why? We're tracking just a few metrics, and I'm not worried about I had hash browns today. Bobby, you can't have hash browns. Well, hell yeah, I can. I did, right? Bobby, you can't have a Snickers bar. Oh, heck yeah, I can. Now, is that the healthiest thing to necessarily do? No, but I've just got to create a calorie deficit. And as long as I track my metrics, oh, sweet Bobby's going to be just fine. We would probably be better if we all tracked our sleep, right? Okay, I'm going to try to get up at the same time every day. I'm going to go sleep same time every day. I'm going to make sure that I get adequate sleep every night. So if we tracked that rather than staying up 3, 4 in the morning or whatever we want to do, we all would probably be better there too. So tracking has merit. Tracking has merit in trading, and it has merit in lifestyle. It has, if you're writing a book, tracking, you should say, hey man, here's what I'm going to do. I'm writing a book. I'm going to put 100 words on the page today, or I'm going to do one 8.5 by 11 page double spaced. That's my goal. Or I'm going to write for 30 minutes. Maybe 10 words come to you. But you got to have some metric to keep ourselves going. So that's all we need. That's all we need. So some of y'all are worried about the weeds. Y'all really are. Y'all are worried about, Bobby, I've got a fat tail lizard on and the big tail iguana. What am I going to do? Well, what does your metrics say do? You're still worried about trade management. So my advice for you is today is the 7th, not the 5th. Just a heads up. Where does it say it's the 7th? Oh, 11/5. Oh, thank you. 11/7. Thanks so much. Evans, bring me back to reality. It's 11/7. So I just want everybody to kind of know, right, that I'm bringing you on a journey. You don't have to go. You don't have to listen. But I think this is all you need. I think we've created something that makes this very, very, very simple. So what would I do today? Okay, well, let's just say. So I just told you, I don't know what the market's done. I don't know if it's moved up or down. So looking at my metrics, I can put on another trade, right? I can do that. Where would I do it? Well, I like it on the put side. I could have long deltas of 73. So it's not like I need a delta adjustment. Now, we could put it on the call side, or as Matt brought up the other day, we could do it on both sides. See, you got all kind of options you could do. So we could put a trade on the call side. We could put a trade on the put side. There's all kind of stuff we could do. So with me looking at this, I go, man, I sure would like to be closer to 0.3 in theta. Man, I could be up as high as 2035. So this tells me that I can put on risk. Now, some of you won't because you're worried about the election. I'm not worried about the election. I'm worried about my metrics. What are my metrics saying? So I'm good on all fronts. I could sit here and let theta burn, but I am a portfolio manager. I am aggressive. So I'm going to put on me a little trade in this account. Okay, so let's go to our little account and let's see how we're doing. And we'll see. Now, this is for the first time I'll see what the market is doing because I've been looked at it. So VIX is up a little bit. What did I tell you? VIX, I said one metric makes me think VIX is going up. One makes me think it's going down, but I bet it hadn't moved much, 17 cents. I bet the same thing with the micros, right? I said, I bet it hadn't moved much. Okay, it's up a little bit. Okay, I got it. Hadn't moved much. That's exactly what I said. So before long, we don't have to have our charts and our stuff and our graphs and our things telling us what price has done. So it's up a little bit. I think I'm going to put me one on the put side for sure. So let's go do it. Let's go to the put side. Let's go out closest to 60 days without going over. Let's do a long put vertical. Let's do 50 points wide. There we go. Let's move him down where we can buy him for $10. Let's see. I got to have my buy first, right? And then my sell. Unbelievable. Look at this. So there's 50 wide, 12. 1, 2, 3. So we come down 1, 2, 3. So we would never buy what we've sold. Synthetically, we would be okay, but that messes everything up for me. So I'm gonna go down, 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 down. So there's $10, right? 25.20, go down another, should be 9.75. It's 9.50. Let's see if we can get filled at, let's see if we can get filled 10. 30, yeah, here we go. Bye-bye, bye-bye. All right, we're filled at 10. Now we're gonna do 1, 1, 2. So we're gonna go down here, 11 to 12. Maybe we'll get 11.50 for one at 3,200. So let's sell 2 of those. Right, and quantity 2. Let's see if we can get filled for that. Ta-da! Nothing. Ta-da! Nothing. Here we go. Come on, baby. Replace 11.25. That should fill. Okay. So now we have increased our theta, we've increased our delta, and we should have increased our buying power. Though I bet that buying power didn't mess up. Yeah, it stays the same. Isn't that weird? All right, it should have gone up some. So ta-da, right? Ta-da! We're finished. That went to 16. This went from theta of whatever to something, whatever it was. There we go. Theta went from 50 to 53. Yay! The old Bobby's got everything. Now, here we go, trade managers. Here's where you go, right? You go, God, Bobby, I got stuff in 11 days. Oh, I got to start looking at it. Okay, let's look at our 11 days if y'all want to. Now, should you be looking at all this garbage at your, 23, 39, 53? You can if you want to, but you don't need to. So why don't we do this? Let's look at our position. So we got stuff in the closer expiration, which is this, right? So let's go to trade. Let's go to curve, and let's just look at our 11-day stuff. How about that? So it's a little harder over here. You just have to go in and click all your 11-day stuff, right? Make sure that's all we're looking at. 11, 11, 7, 11, 11. All right, so here's all of our 11-day stuff that y'all are all freaking out about. Let's see what it looks like. Analysis. Here we go. And Theo and expiration. All right, here we go. So let's zoom out. Let's see what this looks like. I'll be damned if that ain't the prettiest little thing since sliced spread. Market go up, we don't care. We're gonna keep our money. Market go down, we making more money. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? So if I'm looking at this, none of my 11-day strikes are breached. So I can instantly tell there is nothing that needs managing. There's not a thing. You trade managers that it's hard to get off that little bandwagon. You can't do it, right? So here you go. That's all I got to do. I got to look and say, would you change anything here? Would you close anything? The answer is no. But just pull them over to the side. And I hate to feel like I'm giving y'all a lashing today. It's not the case. I don't want to dampen your mood. I'm just saying, do y'all want to go on this journey? And if you are, embrace it for a while. And I know old habits are hard to break. Hard, baby. Hard. All right, 11.722. Let's see what we got over here. See if we went down to this one. 11.722. And we are at 27.278. 27.278. Oh man, 27.278. So we don't get to play any Jeffersons there. We're down $22. Big thing. All right, so let's get our Greeks and ratios. Our Greeks and ratios are, look at this, y'all. 1.45 and 32. 1.45 and 32. 1.45 and 32. I mean, golly, Pete, y'all. How can I get any better than that? The VIX is around 24. So what's our buying power? Buying power is 9905. See how that's looking. 9905. 36% buying power. But look at this. Our theta is only at 0.12. Look at there. But this is a little big, right? So what could I do? What could I do to reduce buying power and increase theta? Y'all know the answers, don't you? Don't y'all know the answer? I would do something probably on the call side. Now, would I have to do a call debit spread? I wouldn't have to do it. I could just sell the call. So if I sold a call, let's just see what that looks like. Trade. Yeah, I was going to try to show you that it shows no additional buying power. Oh, MES. So let's go closest 60 days. But I'm going over 53 days, right? Let's find us a little call that we could sell. Now, you don't sell one, you don't sell two, you don't sell. Here's the cool part. It really doesn't matter. I just kind of want to get way out, right? I want to get way on out here. Way out here. So, here, if I want to bring in me a little theta, I want to bring in me about $10 where we normally do. And I could do this 42.70. Watch this, and I could do two of them. All right, now watch this. Confirm and send. The buying power is 0. How about that? The buying power is 0. So this allows me to increase my theta, but not worry with my buying power, which is something that this account needs, right? The account is low on theta. Now I've got enough, but I'm high on buying power. So I can put on a trade that increases this closer to 0.30 and has no effect on this. So why would I not do that? Why would I not do that? Let's increase our theta. So I think that's a great groovy little move. So let's try to do that. So let's do that here. See if we get filled. No buying power. Ta-da! Isn't that cool? Cool. All right, now, what would happen if I put a call debit spread on it? Let's think about that. Let's see what a call debit spread would do if we wanted a blocker for those calls. Now, I don't have to have a blocker for that call. My metrics don't indicate that I need it, but what if I wanted to get a blocker in front of Tom Brady? All right, so I go a long call vertical. We go out 53 days, long call vertical. And we would do this where we could do it, 30, 34, there's 50 wide. So we go all the way down where we pay for about $10 for that thing. So that would be 11.25, 10.75, 10.50, $10. So yeah, they're about right there, right? So I could put that on. Now this says that would take us a $29 debit in our buying power, right? So let's just check and see what it would on the other account. So 40.80, 41.30. Let's see what it would do. 40.80, 41.30. So 40.80, 41.30. So if we bought this one, 40.80, and sold the 41.30, I bet this is going to take up buying power. Let's just see, right? So if I move that up to 10, it's probably going to take up some buying power. Move that to 10, probably going to take a little buying power, $19.25, but that's really nothing, right? Now, here's the cool thing. All right, well, if I wanted a blocker, if I need some offensive linemen to block for some of my quarterbacks, what would happen if I put one on the, say it with me, on the put side? Now that's interesting, right? I just sold calls, but which gives me some negative deltas. But now let's say that I want to do something on the put side. So over here, we got filled on this $10 put debit spread at the 35.60, 35.10. What would that do to our buying power? If I wanted a blocker for somebody, so we go to 35, go to the 53 days, and we'll go 35.60, 35.10. 35.60, 35.10. So we buy this one, huh? This would get me a blocker to the downside, and 36.50. Oh no, did I do that? No, it's 50 wide. 35.60. There it is, Bob. 35.60. 36.60. 30. I'm at the wrong place. 35.60. Oh yeah. 35.60. There we go. 35.60. 35.10. Buying a put debit spread for $10. Now watch this. What does that do to my buying power? Oh, behave. So I'm able to get a blocker for no additional buying power. But my blocker does not need to be on the call side. My blocker needs to be where? Needs to be on the put side. Brady is trash this year. You should use Hurts instead, and he's an Alabama alumni. Exactly. Unless you saw Brady in the final 3 minutes of that game. And then you go, dang, dude still got it, man. Dude still got it. All right. So does everybody see what I did? I put on a call side negative trade because it didn't use any buying power. And then I evaluated putting a blocker in front of my quarterback on the call side, but I didn't want to use any buying power. So I found a trade that I could put a blocker in on the put side that wouldn't take any buying power. So everybody, let's go back and see why I did it. And I did it this way. Why? Because I wanted to increase theta, but I didn't want to increase my buying power. I could have just sold the naked calls without putting a buyer in there. But some of y'all are freaked out that we're going to have a huge drop, sometime. So I put my blocker in on my put side rather than my call side. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? So what we did today, this is called a bearish 1-1-2. Whereas you put in a put debit spread and you put in a naked call, sell a naked calls. Question. Man, and what is wrong? Yeah.
So the last couple sessions we've had, you've mentioned our max theta being that 0.3% we see. And you've said that, some people are willing to just ignore that altogether. I understand the importance of obviously our beta weighted deltas, our theta, our buying power. What was the significance behind the max theta number when you originally started trading the strategy? Why not 0.4 theta or 0.5% theta? What's the downside there?
Yeah, so Tasty research that we found doesn't apply to a lot of what we do. So you may be saying, why we're relying on it. So Tasty kind of came out with research that says, if you kind of want to get a good return, you got to have a minimum of 0.1% of your portfolio in theta. That gives you sufficient amount to get a return. And they kind of came back and said, you kind of want to max it out at about 0.5% of your net lead. So that made a lot of sense, right? Okay, so then what I did is, remember I showed that notebook piece of paper where I came up and said, well, I'll throttle between them, right? So if VIX is really low, we're not going to take as much risk. We're going to be at 0.001 or 0.1%. And if as volatility layers up, we'll go at a maximum 0.5%. So now, since volatility is in the middle between 20 and 30, if it's greater than 20, less than 30, we'll do 0.3%. That's all it was. I'm just kind of throttling between everything. And I'm doing the same thing on buying power, and I'm doing the same thing on deltas.
Yeah, so that makes sense. But if we have a roughly zero delta and our buying power is in check, why does the theta percentage matter? I understand we want to be above 0.1 or 0.2 for a decent return, but what's to stop us from, say, getting to 1% in theta, as long as our delta and our buying power is in check? Is there a downside there, or is it just impossible? Is there some reason you wouldn't want to do that?
Yeah, I would think, depending, is it possible? I mean, I guess it's possible, right? So if I've got all these trades already on the put side, and now I'm putting tons of trades on the call side, I guess it is possible I could probably go over this, and still have my buying power okay. So yeah, it's probably possible. I don't know. Ken says, screw looking at this. Ken's like, man, I don't even look at theta. I'm more concerned with buying power. And I think that, okay, let's look at two things. Offense. On offense, make sure you got more than 0.1%. That's our offense. You've got to have gas in the gas tank for your 2011 Nissan Rogue to be on the highway. Now, we don't want our 2011 Nissan Rogue going too fast. So this is the most important metric of all of our metrics. I think this is the most important to make sure we don't wreck. This is the one that says we don't wreck. This is a defensive kind of position. Don't be too high here. Now, what's too high? That's a good question. I'm saying 35% is kind of where my comfort level is. but maybe it's 50% for your risk tolerance. You got to come up with your metrics. Don't use mine. Come up with yours. So again, I'm basing it the VIX. Now this is total tasty research, right? If you're between blah 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 and blah 20 and 30, use 35%. So yeah, if 50 is where you want to be and you're comfortable taking that risk, and your deltas, I mean your delta neutral, I think you're okay on theta. Maybe you can use 50%. So these are kind of the things that we're experimenting with, right? I'm experimenting. I'm the scientist. Y'all just follow along. I hate y'all taking I don't want y'all to blow out stuff and take too much risk. Let me do that. But just follow along. Follow along. So I agree with you. You know, maybe this is only necessary to look at as far as making sure you got enough gas in your engine, and not necessarily as a proctor for risk. I think our most significant proctor for risk is our buying power. Hey, there's people out there probably in our group using 70% or more on, you know, big old accounts. Okay, that's where you want your risk to be. And I'm not going to criticize you for it. I'm just saying that's a little too big for me. That's a little too much risk for me. But isn't this cool? So I think what we're saying is, hey, you can rev this up closer to 0.3. How are you going to do it without increasing your buying power? Well, if your metric is at all times I can use up to 50%, I don't care what the VIX is, then hey, baby, go ahead and sell more premium. Pop this up, get it to 0.3 or above, as long as you don't get your buying power. So whatever your metrics are, right? Whatever your metric, don't use my metrics, use yours. Remember, I said if y'all need your own personalized spreadsheet, book a session with me. Book a session, go to that little app that I'm using. What is it called? Set up or something? Set me, whatever. Book a session. And you and I'll sit there with you and we'll come up with your metrics, whatever you want your metrics to be for your spreadsheet. So if yours is 50% at all times, this would be green, 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 baby. You have not exceeded any of your risks. But for me, I just need to know, hey, Bobby, you're a little bit on the outside of your risk parameters. So yeah, screw this. The only reason maybe you look at this is make sure you got enough tank in the gas, which would be 0.1. Great question or great comment. Anything else? Yeah, Ed, come on.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. I just want to chime in on this metric thing. So I agree with everything you're saying. And in reference to whoever's asking that question, to that person and to everyone who's relatively new at this, I would suggest strongly you throttle your metrics at a lower end and experience a pullback and see what that does to your metrics and see what it does to your mental state. And you'll understand, oh, I was running these moderate metrics, and here comes a 5% quick pullback or an 8 or 9% grind down or whatever. Until you experience those things, you don't know what they're going to do to your portfolio unless you're an incredible modeler, which we are all getting better at. And I suspect the new people are not very great at, because if they were, they would kind of not be wondering where their metrics need to be. So zero insult intended there. We're all trying to figure out what our metrics are that we can run that produces the return we want. What I'm trying to say is go through a couple of up and down cycles doing this to experience what that's like. That's it.
So, we've done this long enough, right, that I've kind of got a good feel for what we're doing here. And the funny thing is, y'all know how we jump from one thing to the other. I know I do. I'm the world's worst, right? I'm the world's worst. So we were managing the 111, 112s as trades rather than portfolio. And when we started this, I was all about portfolio, and I just got away from the forest and trees. I was looking at the trees to the forest. Now, we were keeping the forest in line, but we were paying more attention to the trees. And it's so funny. I go back to 2016, and I mentioned it a lot of times. I know I was 81%, I think, is just what the count was up in 2016. And that was nothing, that was purely managing by the Greeks and the buying power. That was all that was. And I'm like, why would you ever get away from that? It's crazy. And so what I was doing is I was selling strangles, and I was selling ratio strangles, And it would all depend on the deltas, right? So I was trying to keep the deltas negative at all times. In a ratio of 1 to 2 with my Vega. If you see some of these things here that have, where's L and where's G and H and I? Well, that's because that's this old stuff that I used to keep up with, right? So I've tried to simplify it so I don't have to keep negative deltas anymore, because we've got these blockers that are blocking for our quarterback. But you got to figure out what your metrics are. Maybe you do a delta vega ratio or a delta theta ratio or a whatever. I had all that crap in here. I just try to simplify it. I'm like, oh man, let's just make it simple. And I think I like what we're doing now better than anything we've ever done. So you do you, baby. You do you. Let's all do each other. All right, let's go to the other count. See how he's doing. See how let's see how Ed's doing on my darn. Oh, don't forget, y'all. Hold on, let me bring that up. Speaking of Ed, bringing me down. Ed will be presenting tomorrow at 2:00. Notional is Complete Guide to Starting a T-Bill Side Hustle. Now, I kind of came up with that name, but I thought that's kind of what it is, right? He's telling us what to do. It's kind of a side hustle in our trading account. We're doing a little side hustle of buying some T-bills. Let's see how my T-bills doing. Ed's been taking me down lately. Let's see what this thing's doing. Let's see what look at this. How can I be mad at Ed, y'all? He's made me 1 penny on my T-bill. I can't be mad to me. See that? Remember, I was down 32 cents the other day. Now, Ed has brought me back to I'm up a penny. So that's great. All right, so let's go get this account. Let's see how we're doing over here. Over here, Horn, how you doing? Let's see, so we're 104,694. 104,694. 104. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. 104. Y'all know what that means. 104,694. Y'all know what we're doing, baby. We're moving on up.
Well, we're moving on up to the side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky.
I was down a little bit because I didn't get to play that. So we're 26.5 and 85. 26.5 and 85. So let's put that in. 26.5 and 85. 26.5, 85. Come on, Bobby. You got to do something, man. How can you not get you're so conservative over here. Why are you so conservative, oh Bob? Let's put some trades on, man. Do something. 31,248. 31,248. Now, I'm getting close to 30%. I'm getting close to that 35%. So, but I'm low on my data here. Oh Bob needs to put some buying power to work, and Bob needs to put some gas in the tank. He ain't got enough gas. 92, 92, 81, 85. Are you kidding? I gotta get this 90s back. I gotta do something. So what is Bob gonna do? That's a good question. So let's see. What did I do in the other account? No, I know what I'm doing. I know I want to do a regular 112. So let's try to do that. So let's do what I did in this other account. So I'm going to go trade. So I got to do 2 tranches, y'all. I don't see how I don't do 2 tranches. So I sold over here 2 of the 3200s. 2 of the 3200s. Here we go. 2 of those. I already got a position there. Well, what? I'm going to do 3210. No big deal. So we'll move that up to the mid price. We're going to do 2 of these and 3200s and Schwab. I said Schwab. 11 and a quarter. I don't know, Phyllis. Did I do 2 of those or 1? Yeah, 2. Okay, sold 2 of those for 11 and a quarter. Okay, so then I'm going to do a put debit spread to get me a blocker in front of my quarterback. So I'm going to do the 3560, 3510, 3560. If he is 3510, hold your control key down. So see if we can get it for 975. 975, got it. Beautiful. All right, I'm in. Okay, now what could I do? Well, let's look at our deltas again and our buying power. So why don't we do a strangleized version of this, right? I need some theta, man. And I got some buying power, so I use some buying power, put that trade on. So why don't we go out on the call side and do something there? Okay, so here we go. Let's go do it. We'll just build it ourselves. So over here, we're gonna go 53 days. And we're gonna sell 2 on the call side to build our theta up. And I'll probably put a blocker in front of it. Right? I can do that. So let's go up here, 2 of them. We've been going for about 11 or so. So let's do this one or this one, or let's do this one. We need some theta. So let's do 2 of these calls at 11.25. That ought to fill. Look at there, 0 buying power, but it increases my theta. There we go. Now let's get us a blocker. So we knew where that blocker was a while ago because we already put him in the Crimson account. So we'll go to monitor, field orders, and here, no, it's on the put side. Where did I do that? Oh, I did the calls over. Let's see, where did I do it here? I hadn't done the call side. Okay. Let's go build out the call side. Just easier on tasty words. So let's go trade, MES. Oh, we did build it out. Here it is. So here it is about the 40, 80, 41, 30. Let's try that. 40, 80, 41, 30. 40, 80. So we could buy him, right? So we buy him. And we're going to get the 41, 30. So we'll sell him, right? There we go. All right, 1050. Like that. Let's see, I could move him down one, right? I could go, let's see, I could move him, let's see, 40, 80, 40, 30. So I can move him to the 40, 70. And I can move him to the 41, 20. 40, I need him cheaper. So if I'm cheaper, I gotta go farther out. Wait a minute, I gotta go farther out. Sorry. So I could go 4100, 4150. Let's try that. 4100, 4150. What do you get? 4100. See what that one's for. 4100 and selling the 4050. 1175. That ain't right. What am I doing now? 48. Hold on. Let me get it over here. I'm all perplexed. So I was buying the 48. Okay, so we got to buy the 48. So we'll move him up here. So we're going to buy him 4100. Buy the 4100. Go 50 points wide, 4100. So we'll go 4150. There we go. We'll sell him. There we go. So, move it to 975. See if we get filled. Yeah. Beautiful. There we go. Ta-da! Whew, I'm exhausted. Dennis with the kids. I've been putting trades on the call side. I've been putting trades on the put side. All because the metrics spoke to me. So now what have we done with our, surely we're more than 85 now. Oh crap, did I do that in the wrong count? Darn baloney. I did it in the wrong count, that's fine. No big deal, I'm gonna leave it there. Create duplicate order. We're gonna move it to the other count. So you made a mistake, you go, oh my God, what am I gonna, who cares? I needed the blocker. I'm gonna put my blocker over there, that's fine. So here, in the right account, and see. There we go. So now he's in the right account. So let's see what our little deltas are now. So I put 2 blockers in the other account. I put 2 blockers in this account. So now our deltas are, or I mean our theta. That's what I want to look at. Our theta is 93. So we were 85. Mission accomplished. Y'all see that? Mission accomplished. Questions? Comments? And I'm not going to worry that you know, that I accidentally put a wrong trade in. Now, if I'd accidentally put something that was creating more risk, you know, significant risk, I just put in a blocker. I put it in an offensive lineman. Someone to block for my quarterback. I heard somebody's microphone. Y'all gonna say something? Isn't this fun? Isn't this fun? But at the same time, I do challenge you to, you know, to make your mind up. Are you a trade manager or your portfolio manager? Do one or the other. Don't pussyfoot between the two. Choose your strategy. Choose how you're going to manage your trades if you're necessary. But remember, I think it's more important that the metrics trump all. The portfolio first, trees next. So let's just look and see how we're doing since we're, you know, I like doing this too, right? So this account, we have realized returns of $8,185. Now that's pretty darn good in a year when the market's down 20%, right? Now we're only up 2.96%. Now that's not too good, but we know why. We've done all those other stupid trades. So let's get everything refreshed, see how the S&P is doing in that same time frame. S&P down 15%. We, even with our dumb trades, up 2.96%. I'll take that in. I like what we're doing. And remember, we're really going to bump this up. When all these trades that are 11 days out start coming home to roost, let's go look at them. So here's MES, single symbol, hide simulation. So here's all of our trades now, right? This is all of our trades, single. So is that beautiful or what? Look at that, y'all. We're just, oh my gosh. I don't know how it gets any better than this. Oh, be still my heart. We're up 2182 right now. As we hang here for a little bit, we're going to be up 29. Call it $3,000 in just 12 days. Now, let's look at our first expiration only. Those coming due in 11 days. Y'all, please. Look here, y'all. We're making 282 today. If we stay here, we'll lose $60. Who cares? If we go up 5, we're still going to make that $228. But if we go down, baby, 5%, can we get a 5% sell off so that Sweet Bobby can make $412 today instead of, be up $283? Can we please? Can we have a 5% sell off? Hell, can we have a 12% sell off? Well, Bobby, you'd only be at $4,800. Yeah, but I'll be at $1,200 at the end of 12 days on a 12% pullback. Are you kidding me? And look what happens to our T0 line as the days go by. What's this? It gets sweeter as the days go by. Look at that, y'all. Then you're going, look, on the 17th. Come on, baby. Drop 12%. Make daddy some money. Hit me, baby. Is that not beautiful? Are we on to something or what? Look at that, y'all. 11-18. There's the 18th right here. Come on. Hit me, baby. Come on, fall. Look at this. That's the 19th. There's the 18th. So when will you start closing out trades? Well, when does your theta turn 0? When does my theta turn 0? I want to get in the weeds. I know some of y'all want to get in the weeds. So when's my theta turn 0? Let's see, 11-18, 11-17, 0, that's minus 6, minus 7. I don't know if that's a bad thing though, right? It turns negative at 11:05. So we're turning negative today, negative 17. My theta is going down. But at the same time, you sit there and go, man, it's working against me now. Yeah, but I like what it's allowing me to do behind it. Look at that. And my theta is going down, but look, it's taking my theta, but man, is that thing becoming just strong, baby. And we got an election coming up. Y'all are like, man, I'm scared about the election. Okay, let's come down 12%. Let's have a 12% sell-off. I'm all about it. Is this not the funnest thing y'all ever done? Good session, y'all. Don't forget Ed's session tomorrow on T-bills. That'll be fun. I got anything else to say? We'll have a Muscadine Mafia session later this week. Not exactly sure when, but we'll have a Muscadine Mafia session. Ed session tomorrow. And life is good. You want got something to say?
Yeah, I have a question. I'm working your spreadsheet.
Yeah.
putting in the data, and I got a problem. I put in my net lick,
Mhm.
then I put in where I think the buying power used is,
Yep.
and the numbers don't add up. So where do you get your buying power used? I'm gonna
Okay, so
uh,
buying power, so make sure, Ken, that you're not, you don't need to enter NetLick over here, right? It
Right,
automatically comes from here, right?
Gotcha.
Your date and NetLick come from here. So the buying power usage I get from the monitor tab and right here, buying power.
Okay,
effect.
that's where I'm picking it up. I got a $300 difference. I can't figure out where.
Hmm.
And I looked at the formula and I go, there's nothing wrong with the formula.
Yeah.
And I did exactly what you said there. So, after this Zoom, I'm going to exit Thinkorswim and load it back up to see if there's a glitch.
Yeah, because
but I was
the
just-
buying power is only, right, it's just like, it's a simple formula, right? It takes your net lit minus your buying power used to equal your remaining buying power.
Yeah, we don't need an Einstein to figure that out.
Yeah.
So it makes me think there's something wrong with Thinkorswim, or I was getting it in the wrong place. Now, the difference between your account and mine, that might make a difference is I'm doing the 11X class
Mhm.
trades with the micro crude,
Yeah,
as well as the micro E mini.
yeah.
And so I'm wondering, and I just did the micro E mini buying power use to see if that was the problem, but no, that's not it either. So that should make a difference.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing, right? So that's the cool thing, right? Y'all can trade anything you want to on these metrics too, y'all. That's the thing, right? It doesn't matter what you got in your portfolio. If you've got Roblox and DraftKings and Zoom and all these other stuff in there, and Apple and Tesla, it doesn't matter. You can still run a portfolio on these cool little metrics, right? So yeah, get your theta up there, worry about your buying power, keep your deltas fairly neutral, and run whatever you want to. Put you some butterfly trades in, put you some ratio spreads, put you some strangles and straddles and all kind of stuff. And this is all you need. This is all you need. So see, Ken's doing crude oil and everything. We got people using gold and crude oil, all kinds of stuff. You can use futures or ETFs, it's just cool. You can use this for anything. And again,
Yeah,
you don't
I
have to
have
put your trades in. You don't have to enter your trades if you don't want to.
I don't do that.
Yeah, Ken's not doing it. He just said, "Hey man, I'm making this simple. Look, this is only you need 2 pages. You need this page, and you need this page, and that's how you run a portfolio. Nothing else. Don't. Yeah, and Ken's not doing this, but for most of y'all, just don't complicate. Just don't complicate. Keep this thing really, really simple. It's really so simple. So simple.
Yeah, one of the things I do, Bobby, is that
Mhm.
I have a group called the landing zone. And
Yeah.
when I make a trade, I go put them immediately in the landing zone. And in the next day, I want to see them settle for a day to see what's going on.
Mhm.
And then that's when I divide it out into the put debit spread and the short and the naked puts. So I put an intermediate landing zone to kind of monitor it and see if I made mistakes. I've been known to make mistakes, so that's why I do it. That's my way of not having a mistake. That because we all make mistakes.
Oh
all
yeah,
the
well
time.
y'all saw me today, right? My execution was off, and I threw an interception, I guess, because I put a trade in the wrong account. Now what did I do to correct it? Nothing. I just said, it's a debit spread. Big deal. I got another offensive lineman in there. It's fine. No big deal. So really, it's easy, right? So now, you can go. Wait a minute. So you're telling me I don't have to use this 112 regular logic about, I got to make sure I'm collecting $10 or no, you can sell if you need a lot of negative delta, say a 50 delta call. If that gives you the, helps you get the negative delta that your account deserves, you don't have to sell it way on out there because you're looking at the portfolio, not that individual trade. So all kind of cool things, y'all, with this. It's just really cool. It's very liberating, very liberating. And again, this is exactly, other than some of the ratios I use, this is exactly what I did in 2016. I was using this in 2016 very effectively with ratio, strangles, and skewed strangles, where I'd skew them closer to money on the put or the call side to correct my deltas and still bring in beta. And it just works. Oh, so beautiful. I'll show you the graph one day. That was a 81% year. Remember it well. I don't know why you ever get away from these things. Then we find all these little magic trades and we jump from this and that. And it's really just portfolio management. All right, guys. Great session. I will see y'all tomorrow.